Come on, baby.
Hey guys, welcome to Piano Shack with me, Woody. Let's do some viewer mail. Truth be told, it's been a little bit thin on the questions front, so I really need you guys to send me mail your questions to woodypianoshack@gmail.com. But on the other hand, I have been receiving tons of messages of support during the last month. I don't know what's going on with you guys, but I really, really appreciate it. I've been getting lots of mails with encouraging words about my channels and my videos. So thank you very, very much to everybody that has done that. But I picked out some of the questions anyway. I have received a few things, and I'll share with you some of the random stuff that people ask me as well. I think you'll enjoy it. Okay. And I've just realised I don't have a cup of tea. This could be a problem, but we'll press on and see how it goes. So, the first question is from Haru. This came in to my email, yes. He says, "Hi Woody, I've been wondering where to start learning to play keyboard, especially after hearing a lot of the gorgeous synths you've displayed on your channel. I've already got a keyboard and I love to mess around on it, but I am incapable of getting anywhere with it as yet. So my question is, what would be the best way to go about learning the instrument without having the money to pay for lessons for someone that primarily needs audio-visual teaching methods?" And that's from Haru. That's an interesting question. I mean, I learned to play with a teacher. In actual fact, my grandmother was a piano teacher, so I had a pretty good head start here. But these days, I think it's a lot easier. I'm convinced that you don't need to see a real teacher to learn the basics anymore anyway. You can get by, I think, with a lot of the video content that's on YouTube. There are tons and tons of piano tutorials out there for you to investigate. But I haven't watched them myself, so I can't really recommend which is the best series or the best channel to watch. So I encourage my viewers of this video to leave a recommendation below. An interesting thing, when I started my channel, my focus was supposed to be piano lessons. I really wanted to teach the piano. I uploaded 4 or 5 really beginner intro piano lessons, but nobody watched them. I quickly realized that all of the views were going to my Roland FA08 demos tutorial videos. So actually, after a little while, I dropped those videos from the channel because, well, I was also new at YouTubing, so my performances on camera were a bit embarrassing. They're not much better today, but there you go. One day I might redo this idea I have of doing piano lessons because it's really what I want to focus on most, to be honest. But it's the gear stuff that I enjoy too, and that's what my viewers found successful. I think it's quite difficult to break through as a piano teacher today because there are so many other channels doing that already. But if anybody has a recommendation for Haru, then please leave a comment. And Haru, good luck. I hope you nail this. I'm sure you will. Right, so we have another question here, sorry, from Nick in the UK. Nick writes to me, he says, "Hi Woody, great video. As always, I might add, it was really interesting to see how Korg took a great synth and replicated it." So I guess he's talking about my M1 VST video here. By the way, I'll just interrupt here with a question. Korg latched onto this video as well and shared it on their Facebook page. So that was pretty awesome. Although they credited it to Synthtopia, which is a bit of a strange thing. I can't talk today. I really do need that cup of tea, I guess. So anyway, back to this mail. He says, a lot of the manufacturers are doing similar. Yes, I agree that some of the sounds aren't quite there, but at the end of the day, it is not an M1. Back in the day, I almost bought an M1, and most regrettably, I did not. Korg were nearing their production run and were releasing a new synth, the O1W and O1WFD. I thought, great, I'll have one of those. Bought it and quickly understood that it was a mistake. By that point, the sound of the early 90s had been defined. Oops. By the way, still have my O1FD in the loft. You have inspired me to get it out and dust off the cobwebs and get it working. It'll be interesting to see how it sounds. We'll keep you posted on my view of it after using it after not using it for the last 10 years or so. I do hope that it sounds better than I remember it. What are your thoughts on the O1? Have you used one, and how do you rate it if you have? Keep up the good work, Nick in the UK. So he's talking about the Korg O1/W, which was the synthesizer that Korg released as the successor to the M1. And you know what? I've never ever tried one. I've never even seen one. These things never come up for sale either, so I've got a hunch that this was not a best-selling synth. In fact, I think it was released with some overlap with the M1, and the M1 probably still outsold this, I'm guessing. It was better in every way than the M1, but for some reason I don't think it caught on. At the same time, Roland released their D70 synthesizer, which was a monster and probably more popular than this one. Not quite sure. It's a strange thing. Would I be interested in trying one? No, probably not. I tend to focus on the iconic synthesizers, and I don't think this is one of those, although it's probably very capable and does sound good. But Nick, I'd love to hear how you get on with it. Share some photos on my Facebook page. I'd love to see that. Bit of trivia here. I do believe this odd name, the O1W, originates from one of the Korg marketing or design guys or whatever reading M10 upside down. M10 was supposed to be the successor to the M1. Someone read it upside down and it became O1W. I don't know if that's true or if it's a myth. I'm sure somebody knows that's more knowledgeable than me, so do let me know in the comments. We'll move on. The next question is from George. He writes, hi, I have a Korg M1, another M1 question, and I've recently changed the internal battery and lost the factory sounds. I am a keyboard dabbler, he's a drummer by trade, and I'm very challenged when it comes to settings and portholes. I don't know what he means by portholes. It's an interesting thing to write. I watched a demo on how to reload for a rack mount. It showed a RAM factory settings card and where to insert it. However, on my keyboard, I don't know if it's the same Korg sound settings card needed and haven't a clue which port to install the card. Okay, so by ports, he means the inputs and outputs. So my question is, do you have a tutorial on the above? Or could you tell me what I need to do to get sorted? By the way, I haven't purchased any cards yet. Thanks, and also thank you for your site. Kind regards, George. George, don't buy any expensive Korg memory cards. You don't need them. And in fact, today, just a couple of hours ago, I uploaded a tutorial showing how you download MIDI files from Korg's website and use free software to upload them into the Korg M1 and reset all of the factory settings. So go take a look at that, and I hope it helps. Good luck with your M1, and thanks for writing to me. Okay, this one I'm going to need some help from the community on because I don't have an answer, but it's about the D50. Yes. Oh, actually, before we move on to the D50, I want to share one story with you about my Korg M1. Now, as you know, I have a son, Eddie, who's 10 years old, and he's completely uninterested in my keyboard hobby. He hasn't shown any interest in my synthesizers or pianos, unfortunately, although I have tried to inspire him and get him to learn. Anyway, he normally ignores my keyboards, but when he saw the M1 for the first time, he was blown away. It stopped him in his tracks. He thought it was gorgeous. Of all the synthesizers I've owned, it's the only one where I've got any reaction from him. And another funny thing, and I haven't told him any differently, he thinks it's called the Korg Me. You know, he read the letters, M1 to him looks like me. This is a kid that's grown up with the Nintendo Wii and so on. So he calls it the Korg Me, which I think is wonderfully cute. But I kind of see where he's coming from. When I look at the M1, it's a gorgeous design, very minimalistic, lots of rounded, well, not lots of, a very small amount of rounded buttons and a cute little screen, and that flat rounded black. That's pretty gorgeous. I think it sort of shares design traits with the early Apple stuff, in my opinion. It's a really, really nice design and a good looking keyboard. So my son is spot on there. Anyway, let's move on to Ahmed's question. He's in Sweden and I need your help here, so listen carefully. Dear sir, I have a D50, I have a problem. I don't have sound in these keys, C4, C4 sharp, D4, D4 sharp, E4, F4, F4 sharp, G4 only. Please help me. Regards, Ahmed. Oh, now I've never had this problem, but if it's just a part of the keyboard that's not working, I think this is a contact problem. The keyboards are split up into zones, and there'll be one cable plugging into the motherboard, and I'm guessing that's got a bit loose somewhere. But you're going to need to open up the keyboard and check it out and reinsert those contacts or wiggle them a bit just to make sure they're seated properly. I think that's the problem here. Can't be sure. And I hope someone more knowledgeable will chime in the comments. Thank you for the question. Okay, this is from Aguzitin. Sorry, I'm pronouncing your name so badly. Quick question. He says, hi, could you please make a video of the instruments used by Michael Jackson in the 80s and 90s? I don't know anything about the instruments used by Michael Jackson in the 80s and 90s, but it would have been Roland D50s, DX7s, and a whole bunch of other stuff which I don't know much about. But I do like his music, and we're going to be doing a bit more piano performances on the channel coming up, and I would like to do some covers of his songs, so watch out for that. Okay, okay, a question from Russia. I can't pronounce the guy's name. It's in the Cyrillic text. But he writes to me, oh no, it's Soshin, Yuri, okay. He says, hello, and where can I download VST Anthology 1987 versus D50? I don't know what he means. Does he mean where can I download the plugin? Or where can he download my video where I did against the D50? Yuri, just use Google. You can easily find the link to the Roland Cloud where you can sign up and download all of their stuff. It's free for a month, so go for it. Oh, and this brings us on to the final question. It's from Yotam, and he posted a comment actually on YouTube the last time we did a viewer mail, because I was explaining where the name for the channel comes from. Woody is derived from my surname. So he says, this is Yotam, nobody asked the most important question. What's your first name? I actually assumed it was Woody, but hey, I guess it ain't so. No, Woody is from my surname. My first name is Gareth. Yes, I'm a Gareth. I'm born in Wales. It's a Welsh name. There are a couple of other famous Gareth guys in the world. There's Gareth Bale, of course, who plays for Real Madrid and Wales. You probably heard about him. And the only other one I can think of is the Gareth guy in The Office. Remember that horrible, arse-licky idiot that worked in The Office in this UK show by Ricky Gervais? That's the other Gareth I can think of. He was a real idiot. And then there's me. And on that note, I think we'll finish for today. Remember, guys, I need lots of questions from you. I enjoy doing this show, and I hope you enjoy listening to me as well. So I'll see you again shortly next time. Cheerio.
Woody Piano Shack.